The house of hope, where the tired come to rest and the famished come to feed lavishly. Go on, partake, enjoy your supper. After all, it might just be your last. Call it a ninth sense. What's better than a devil you don't know? A devil you do. Am I a friend? Potentially. An adversary? Conceivably. But a savior? That's for certain. Come now, why play hard to get when you're in deep over your tadpoled head? One skull, two tenants, and no solution in sight. I could fix it all, like that. Take all the time you need, but make up your mind before you're counting down with tentacles. Try to cure yourself, shop around, beg, borrow, and steal. Exhaust every possibility until none are left. And when hope has been whittled down to the very marrow of despair, that's when you'll come knocking on my door. Hope. Such a tease. I'll be around, watching you squirm like a tadpole through a nice, juicy brain. All those pretty little symptoms, sundering skin, dissolving guts, they haven't manifested yet, have they? One might say you're a paragon of luck. I'll be there when it runs out.
Do you feel as flattered as I do? Invited to dine with a devil. I've never met a devil, but of course I've read a great deal about them. Even feigning a mortal form, it was easy to detect the whiff of sulfur about him. To spot the flicker of hellfire in his eyes.
Don't let his bluster fool you. All that talk of desperation merely illustrates his own. I think he wants something from us, badly. And in that knowledge lies our opportunity. Our souls. But I suspect that's but his opening offer.
Let me play the devil's advocate. The man is too eager. Do not dismiss his offer out of hand.
If there's one quality all the denizens of the hells embody, it's ambition. A quality they share with many humans, come to think of it. Admittedly, it's an area in which I have a modicum of expertise. And, based on the evidence before us, it's hard to imagine any other motivation.
Fact one, there's something very strange and very powerful about our tadpoles. Fact two, a devil offers to take it away.
Devils aren't known to aid mortals out of simple kindness. Whatever Raphael wants, we must be the key to getting it, along with our tadpoles. So, I say for now, we wait. If I'm right, Raphael will seek us out again, and when he does, there's a mighty bargain to be made.
Remember his Cormyrean rhyme? Down came the claw. Perhaps we should start growing our nails.
This devil Raphael flaunts his paltry wings as if he wants to impress us. You saw the red dragon slaying his infernal kin above hell's fires, did you not? Next to a dragon, the devil's a gnat. When I am Kithrak, I will take my Queen Vlaakith his head as a trophy. Githyanki Knights, the riders that chase the Nautiloid. They are the commissars and enforcers of my Queen Vlaakith's will. Vlaakith bestows no greater honor. To wield a Kithrak silver sword is my destiny. I will earn my queen's favor, and I will conquer every layer of hell should she command it. They are gifts to my queen from the goddess Tiamat herself. They reside in the great city of Tunarath, awaiting the privilege of battle. Do not pity them. They reap great riches from their service, gold and otherwise. Dragon's blood flows in you, does it not? Perhaps you might be availed of the riches I offer. We shall know in time. The Geich are my kind's mortal enemy. It is not unusual for the Kithrak to give chase, to penetrate the hells. This is unusual. But I'm not one to question the wisdom of my queen. I can see but to the horizon. Vlaakith's sight pierces the many planes.
Bloody hells. Literally. Just when I think I've got a grasp on our dilemma, a devil shows up. No matter. We've dealt with every other oddity thrown at us lately. We can handle this one too. Now, as for this Raphael, he knows our secret. He claims he can help. What do you make of him? No doubts at all. He seemed powerful and very knowledgeable about our problem. Not the worst prospect we've stumbled across. As long as you can look past what he is. Good. That's what I wanted to hear. I know people who work much like our new acquaintance does. You don't need a scourge or a rack to break people. Fear and self-doubt is sufficient. When actual pain comes, the victim's already done the heavy lifting for their torturer. There were no right answers with that devil. He was toying with his food. Us. Aren't you glad that I am? It's an effective trick. Watch out for it. And for Raphael. Necklace matches the sigil in that cave. The Harpers were busy.
Something over there. At the back of the crevice lies a bag enfolded in the chitinous squabbling of spiders. A shiny gold coin pokes from its mouth. The creatures clutch the pouch possessively. You have no doubt. A spider egg is nestled within. Your voice draws their attention. They are suspicious, then curious, and finally, at peace. One by one, the spiders retreat to the rear of the crevice, lulled by your murmurs. You stash the bag. Something clinks among the coins.
are these tracks? Goblets?
Worried your kind will punish you for consorting with us.
Oh, a little respite does wonders.
Glowing eyes are rarely a good sign. Best be careful.
Well, at least we got the druid to keep ourselves entertained. Well, this was more fun when he was screaming.
Did some bleeding arts show up to save the druid? I'll cut you to pieces. Kill 'em!
Time to press ahead.
Can't afford to let up. Have to keep going.
Swift and lethal. My path be true.
Here we go again.
Can't give up. Not now. Might as well take a look. fight well. Perhaps our survival isn't such a distant prospect. My faith will guide me.
Can't give up now. I'm exhausted. Better find somewhere to camp soon.
Oh, thank you, thank you. I thought I was gonna die down here. No. I'd still be outside gathering herbs if I didn't run into the goblins. I must tell the others what happened. I stepped careful. There are traps in these tunnels. And thank you again.
Do you think your kin search for you, Lae'zel?
I know they do not. It is my responsibility to cleanse myself.
They pursued the Nautiloid. Perhaps they were trying to free you.
A vain notion. I am one of many, and will not be a burden to my queen.
Strange. It looks healthy, but it's stone dead.
A dead boar. But it doesn't look like it's been touched by scavengers. The carcass seems to be fresh, only a few hours dead. You notice 2 small puncture wounds in its neck. Looking closer, you can see the skin around its face is desiccated. It's been completely drained of blood.
People up ahead. Something's wrong.
There are important matters to discuss. We meet again, as predicted. I shall be here in thy camp for whenever thou hast need of my services. There are many answers to that question. None are important. Correct. No. Beyond mortal realms, there doth exist an amalgamation of spirits akin to thine own, ensnared by the treacherous cult of the Absolute, felled in its name. They bear great discontentment with their destiny. For a mere pittance of coin, I might summon the worthiest among them to lend aid to thy undertaking. Most willingly, forsooth. Their passions doth run deep for what hath been wrought upon them. Suspicion always haunts the guilty mind. My services are all that I can proffer thee. What thou wilt do with them is for thee to undertake. Should thou or any of thy compatriots perish, I will cleave soul to body once more. Because it is my calling, there is little else to explain. Indeed. Farewell.
Finally, some good fortune. Come morning, we know what to do. The sooner we find the Druid house in, the better. I can't wait to get rid of this thing in my head. I hadn't thought of that. What do you have in mind?
She is serious. Even she seems surprised. She's attracted to you, but you sense more. A warm swell of embarrassment.
Huh. A little comfort and company doesn't sound bad. But let's take care of our problem first. Rest well. All's well, I hope? Aside from the obvious. Fine. What's on your mind? I don't think I've ever had a confidant quite like you. And if I have, I can't remember them.
You know, I've been thinking, reflecting on what tomorrow might bring. When we find the Druid, will he know how to bring the worm under control? Will this little adventure of ours be over? Why not? You've been to the Hells and back, survived the crash, survived everything that's followed. I'm not easily impressed by people, but you're stronger than I gave you credit for. You have your charms, more than you think.
The smile on his pretty lips is a touch too composed, a bit too perfect. He may not mean a word he says.
Oh, you're no fun. Sleep tight. I'll see you later. I'm sure. Now there's a bloody devil trailing after us. Well, this gets better and better. Shop around, he said. He seems sure we won't find anything. And he might be right. We've had no luck so far. If we don't know what we're walking into, that bridge will collapse under us. The devil has a plan. He's playing with us. He reminds me of, well, someone I used to know. Someone that liked to play with people. Creatures like them don't play games unless they know they can win. Maybe. But he's not the only one spinning a web for us. This is no ordinary Mind Flayer parasite. Who tampered with it, and why? What do they have planned for us? And why are we important enough that a devil comes knocking on our door? If we find those answers, we might have a chance.
A fine evening, don't you think? The moonlight shines warmly on us. The breeze caresses our faces. Hideous. All of it. Would that I were doing battle up there, among the tears. Look above. Watch the moon cross the sky. The tears follow behind it. Rocky bodies tumbling through the sea of night. One of them is my crash. Clear. Your curiosity is to be commended. Githyanki are hatched in creches all throughout realm space. Clear is one of many. It's there I first saw a Kithrak mount a red dragon. Where I slit my cousins' throats at the Vaj's command. But enough of this. You are wasting your resting time. Come dawn, we resume our search for a creche. Be wary of false promises. The missing druid, Halsin, was it? He may be talented, but only a Githyanki Zathis can cleanse an embedded tadpole.
Well, hello. What can I do for you?
A tingle runs through your head and down to your feet.
Ah, there it is. That shiver. Our little brainworms have made fast friends, it would seem. How do you feel? It's natural to suffer a touch of worry, but an Illithid worm should be causing more than mild anxiety. Before the Illithid's unscheduled surgery, I'd felled hundreds of beasts and a fair few fiends. The tadpoles weakened me, suppressed greater talents, but beyond that, I've showed no signs of turning. No nausea, no pain, not even a hot flash. Indeed. Perhaps the worm's vat was poisoned. Perhaps we're uncommonly fit. Or perhaps the tadpoles are merely on holiday. We could conjecture all night. I suppose the why doesn't matter so much as the what next. And that answer is plain as the horns on a war devil's head. We get these things out. Let's get some rest. Dawn comes sooner than we think. The Devil with the Silver Tongue. An old fairy tale my father read to me. The kind with a hero, a villain, and a moral. A farmer made a deal with the devil, so the story goes. In exchange for the farmer's dearest fruit, the devil granted him a bottomless coin purse. The farmer's dearest fruit, naturally, was no apple nor peach, but his beloved daughter. We can learn a lot from fairy tales, don't you think? Refuse him no matter how tempting the offer, no matter how delicious the feast he lays out for you. The cost's always too great. Take a single step towards him, and he'll dog you the whole journey. You might think you'd give up anything for a cure. But the devil won't take just anything. He'll take everything. The Blade of Frontiers at your calling. Karlach's fires raged in Baldur's Gate before she escaped to Avernus, as my source told it, and she was planning to return. One of the archdevils Zariel's own, chaos incarnate, a devil with pure fire for a heart. I made my way to Avernus to stop her. She fled from my reach, even climbed aboard the Mind Flayer ship as it screeched through the hells. I followed in close pursuit. I can't bear to imagine the lives Karlach might be taking, the damage she might be doing. A powerful friend with a keen interest in privacy. I'm sworn to say no more. All right. What else is on your mind? My father once said, one does not pursue a champion's life. One merely answers its call. So it was for me. I was hunting near the Cloakwood when I heard it. A child crying out from a lone farmstead. I found him in the fields, flanked by goblins. His mother's corpse bled into the soil next to him. I don't remember much of the battle, but I remember drying the boy's tears after. I left him with his uncles. 5 years on, and he's flourishing. If only every child was so lucky. I mourn the ones I could never save, whose cries I never heard. In the boy's tears, I finally saw the suffering wrought by the villains of the wild. The frontiers demanded a blade, and so I heeded. And it's nice to meet someone of your talents. Having a worm wriggling in my skull didn't instill much confidence in the days ahead. With you as my ally, the future looks a little less daunting. A most vicious one, in fact. It's made from pure bloodstone, carved from the Galena Mountains just north of the Moonsea. A reminder that sometimes blood must be shed and sacrifices must be made. But that story is reserved for lifetime friends and calmer days. By all means.
Go ahead. I'm listening. Think of it as tribute. The kind a king might pay to a more powerful neighbor to avoid invasion. As long as I pay, there will be peace. But should I ever stop, along comes a war. I can assure you, the battlefield would extend well beyond the borders of my body alone.
So, Zell, how would you punish someone who wronged you?
Wrong me how?
Oh, say, murder or theft?
Killing is good. It culls the weak. But theft would be paid for painfully, 1,000 times over.
Good to know.
The corpse regards you lifelessly.
Edwin, a true soul, a chosen. The absolute, the almighty goddess. Do not fight her. Power! Such power! crashed from the sky, taken by infidels.
The spell's power wanes. You can ask no more questions. Strange power resonates within the corpse. It calls to you. Your limbs move of their own accord. There's something of value, something your mind craves. Why let its host's memories go to waste? The tadpole has absorbed it all. Its experience could nourish you, strengthen you. Your muscles loosen. The tadpole breaks free of its deceased host. Your mind is your own again. For now.
Owlbear tracks. Its nest must be nearby.
Shrine to Seluna in a grotto like this.
A wizard sealed this chest. Wasn't an amateur either.
That's curious.
Just an old prayer.
Can't afford to stay idle. Selunite prayer. How useful.
Your desire? This prayer bears the same symbol as the chest. I think it might just be the key.
As bad as it could have. This thing won't yield its contents easily.
we go. Never knew prayer could be so practical.
You should leave it. Or even destroy it, if possible. This rubbish is an offering to Selûne. At best, it's worthless. At worst, who knows? Could be cursed. Do not trifle with that moon witch, or her trinkets. Only trouble will follow. Should have stayed quiet. You want the truth? Fine. I worship Shah, Mistress of the Night, Selûne's twin and foe. Now that you have the truth, please don't make a big fuss about it.
You worship Shah? Blimey. She and my beloved Mistra are not exactly friends.
True. I didn't think you'd react so pragmatically. Perhaps I should have told you sooner. Talk to me later. We've got more pressing matters to see to right now. Something like coming of age rites. Barbaric nonsense. Shah's blessings upon you. The wound on my hand. It never quite heals. And sometimes it causes terrible pain to rip through me. It's my burden, though, from Lady Shah. I can feel her influence somehow. I cannot say. Not with what I can recall. But even then, it would not be for me to question her will. Lady Shah has her reasons. It's difficult to say. Sometimes I wonder if it's supposed to be guiding me, punishing me, testing me. But perhaps it's none of those. Perhaps it's completely random. I'd like to hope there's more to it than that. Some meaning that Lady Shah will reveal to me when the time is right. Until then, all I can do is endure. I don't think so, but you're sweet to ask. Maybe just be patient the next time you see me wince or cry out. It'll pass quickly enough. It always does. Pain is sacred to followers of Lady Shah. Pain will give way to loss and then to the peace of her eternal darkness. You can tolerate a great deal of suffering so long as it has meaning. I'll try my best. But secrecy is ingrained in me. Lady Shah considers it greater protection than any shield or armor. I'm sure you do. But please try to understand that it's not something I can just talk about freely. Perhaps there's potential in you. Let's see how you handle this. I am indeed a disciple of Shah, Mistress of the Night and Lady of Loss. I assume you've heard of her? Curious. Most are afraid of my lady. I think I did well by joining you. Most agreeable company. You already know my biggest secrets. What more can you ask? What, besides my life's calling and the greatest problem I've ever faced? Well, I like night orchids and can't swim. Is that the sort of thing you meant? It's a deal. No, I can't. I mean, I literally can't. There's certain things I can't remember right now. Shah's secrets must be preserved above all else. All who worship her know this. I have had certain memories suppressed, voluntarily, so that I can serve Shah without compromising her. If I manage to return to Baldur's Gate and fulfill Shah's mission, then my memories will be restored. Of course. It is an act of faith, not to be undertaken lightly. Shah will reward me when I succeed. Fine. What's on your mind? How are you holding up? Don't be so modest. I can't remember the last time I met someone like you. Perhaps I never did. And never will again. I think I know what you mean. There's an undeniable rapport, and yet we haven't made time for each other. Time alone. Easily remedied, if you like. I know a place. Not just yet. Let's choose our moment. Some quiet night, when the others are asleep and there's no distractions, I'll come for you. Shah's blessings upon you. Fine. What's on your mind? How are you holding up? Don't be so modest. I can't remember the last time I met someone like you. Perhaps I never did. And never will again.
What's on your mind?
Speak.
That stench. Dead owlbear prey, no doubt.
Your sour face is tiring, Shadowheart. By all means leave if I am so distasteful.
I'd rather not turn my back on you, if it's all the same.
Always room for more.
Tell me, Lae'zel, When you say we might be purified at your creche, what does that mean exactly?
Augusta will affix the Zapisk, the Purifier, to our heads. Its magic will quell the parasite in an instant. That's curious.
That Zapisk you made.
The dog lowers his hackles, his head tilted inquisitively. Convinced that you're harmless, he turns his attention back to the corpse. Around his neck is a collar etched with a name, Scratch. With a deep, heartbroken whine, the dog bows his head. The dog looks at his owner with sad eyes. He does not move. The dog sniffs your hand, his tail swung low in understanding. He knows how to find you. The dog remains at the dead man's side, as if in mourning. The dog remains at the dead...
Tell me, Lae'zel, what is it like on the astral plane? Your home realm intrigues me.
Githyanki lay their eggs on other planes. They cannot mature in the astral. I will only be welcomed once I obtain a Mind Flayer's head. Tell me, Gale, what is your interest in the astral plane?
Time. Or rather, the absence of it. In the astral plane, everything is eternal.
It will be my home soon enough, should Vlaakith will it.
Something's waiting up ahead. dead goblins. Dead travelers.
Were they heading to the Druid's Grove?
You've a particular way with words, Gale. Perhaps oration suits you more than battle.
They're not mutually exclusive. The weave is served best with a dash of eloquence.
Get over there! Surround them like! You spotted us. Good. It's like they say. No fun in skewing a pig what doesn't know he's cooked. We got you surrounded. Here's how this goes. You take one step further, and we'll fill your front with arrows. Or you turn around, and your backside gets the same treatment.
A strange symbol glows, marked on their flesh, and something within you stirs in response.
You're a true soul. But my mistake, madam.
Something stirs deep within you, hungry and alert. It's taking something you'll never get back.
You'll get no more trouble from us. Promise. Still no symptoms.
No sign of tentacles so far.
The same.
Yisk Githka Tavki Krashet. The tadpole lets us command the minds of others.
An interesting development, but one to be treated with caution. For better or for worse.
No, Our only course is to deny it. This power is just another symptom of disease, and every use will sicken us further. Wise counsel. When the temptation calls, keep silent, or suffer.
I was wondering about your queen, Blackith. What?